Hi, everyone. So this week we're trying something a little bit different, and we're going to see if we can continue with that for the coming few weeks, which is we are trying to break up our episodes into 2 per week. As you know, we've been really good about maintaining our schedule of like 1 episode every week for the past few months. But now we're trying to do maybe shorter episodes, but increase the frequency. So this week, you're going to have 2 episodes that are of shorter duration. Send us a note at youpodcasting@gmail.com and let us know if this works for you.
Hi, this is Asim.
This is Sujoy.
This is Amrita.
And you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast about the 3 main Khans of the Hindi film industry.
Amir,
Salman,
and Shara. Hi, you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast regular feed. Thank you so much for your support over the years. We now have a Patreon channel with bonus content and exclusive merch for those of you who would like to support us. Every dollar goes towards creating more and better content. Visit us at patreon.com/Khandaan podcast.
a few trailers also came out that we wanted to talk about. The first one literally just dropped now. 30. Isn't it insane? Like, I was looking for the trailer of Govinda Mera Naam. Is that it?
Govinda Naam Mera.
Govinda Naam Mera.
मैं रेडी है
मंजू बेल बजा रही है ना, पहले बेल पे उठने का।
पहले बेल पे कैसे उठूं?
जैसे पहले लात उठता है तू। हो गया?
While I'm searching, there's already reaction videos out of the trailer.
Yeah.
And like, it's crazy. Like, how do people even get their thumbnails and stuff done in 24 minutes? I don't understand how people, it's, you know, like,
Yeah.
I applaud it. It's amazing.
the hustle is real, man.
Yeah. So yeah, the first trailer dropped. Amrita, did you get a chance to see it?
Yes, I did.
Can you explain to us what's happening in this trailer? Because I don't understand.
I didn't understand either. I have no idea what is happening. Somebody gets murdered and I thought it was Bhumi, but it's apparently not. Like, and then is Kiara his girlfriend or he wants her to be his girlfriend? I don't know.
I was wondering that too. Is it like a Tyler Durden Fight Club situation where it's like he's imagining her, or is she real? Or
They're supposed to be Bollywood choreographers, and then they are in an open marriage sort of a thing where Bhumi has a boyfriend and he has a girlfriend, and then one of them gets killed. I think that's the situation. And then there is obviously the side gag of CID's Daya showing up as the investigative officer for obvious reasons. And then that's pretty much the movie.
yeah, did you guys see the launch in promo that they did? Karan Johar and Vicky Kaushal together.
No.
To be honest, I try actively not to watch anything with Karan Johar in it because I then find myself rooting against it irrespective of like whatever its merits might be. So nobody can talk me out of my excitement for a project faster than Karan Johar these days. So it's like, I try to watch him as little as possible.
Okay. Actually, it was a pretty good promo, I thought. I thought the promo was more fun than the trailer itself.
Like, all things said and done, but I like, as good as Vicky Kaushal is, I don't see him in a role like this. This is more of the Varun Dhawan role, I think. And then Varun would have done this, in his sleep.
Yes.
And much better. And like this Tapori role, I don't think the earnestness and the screen presence that demands, I don't think Vicky Kaushal is pulling it off.
You know that scene where he's in the lockup and he says, "How sad?"
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was like, oh, like Vicky can't do this role.
Yeah, Vicky can't do this, yeah.
And I like Vicky, and I think he's a extremely, supremely talented actor. But like, not everyone can do everything, you know.
Maybe somebody in Patreon that sent us this question about Topori acting. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I think what we were saying is that you need to be a certain type of actor, and all of the Khans had it at that time, right? And now it's become like the newer kids don't have that skill set to play like a proper Topori. And Varun is probably the only one that can do it, right? Or maybe
Varun can do it because he's basically cosplaying as the 90s heroes.
Yeah.
You know? He's basically he's basically doing a mimicry of Govinda and Salman. That's why he seems like he can do it. He can't do it organically, I don't think.
Yeah. But I mean, otherwise, there's nobody else really that can.
Ranveer can, I think. But
Ranveer,
Ranveer can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his face? Ranbir tried it in Besharam, right? And flopped miserably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I do like that, Vicky Kaushal is trying something new. I do appreciate it. And, like it's coming out on streaming, right? So it's not going to cost us money to see it. And
it's out on Hotstar, so I don't know how people in the UK would be able to watch it.
Yeah. But, and Bhumi does interesting things too. I think she's like always an interest. She's like seems to have cornered the feisty wife market. But I mean, she's never like really done a bad movie or a bad role. So I'm kind of excited for it. Like that, like for something to watch at home. I don't know. I'm giving it like a moderate okay. Like although the trailer didn't work for me. I wish there was a good song in the trailer. No.
It's supposedly coming. I don't know. There is that one Bijli song that is sort of has like a 10-second teaser within the trailer. I'm looking forward to that.
If Kiara and he are supposed to be choreographers in Bollywood, they better deliver on the songs.
Yeah, but I fear for it. I fear like Bollywood has like totally lost the idea that, songs are important. And it worries me like that there's no song in this when there are choreographers and stuff like that.
So talking about the importance of songs, did you guys watch Jeda Nasha from An Action Hero?
No, I haven't.
So I have watched it on TikTok. I have watched it on Instagram Reels. And I have not watched the full clip, which kind of explains how social media promotions lately work, no? Like, this is how you catch a song. And I have an understanding of what the song is. But, what did you think of Jeda Nasha? Is that it, Amrita?
Jeda Nasha, yeah. It's, have you guys, where is that song from, Sujoy? Because, like, I've heard it before, right? Like, where is it from?
Is it so I'm looking at the credits and it's supposedly by Faridkot, which is a Delhi-based band from like long years ago, and that's all I can think about. I haven't heard the song as such, so I don't know.
I've heard that song like before, I know that much, but I don't know where it's from. Have you guys seen the trailer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys like the trailer?
Yeah, we kind of liked it, I think. Is that correct, Asim? Because I thought like... Yeah.
You guys were all happy. I was still like not... I wasn't like fully convinced.
Okay.
So I thought... So I saw the song before I saw the trailer, and I thought I knew what it was going to be because it was... See, you see, like, it says An Action Hero and it has Ayushmann Khurana in it. I thought it must be some sort of satire about action films in Bollywood or something. And to be honest, like, when I thought that was a concept, I was kind of excited about it. And then as I was watching the song, I was like, oh, no, this is not a satire. Like, this is, they're playing it for reals. Because... The reason why I thought it was a satire was because it was just one of those... You remember that whole spate of films that Salman did where, like Kick and Ready and everything, where he did songs exactly like this, where you have this like one very hot woman and she's choreographed doing something that is absolutely not according to the rhythm or the lyrics of the song. So I thought like, like this was a sort of a send up of those kinds of movies. And then I realized ki nahi, like they literally like they meant every frame of it. So then I was just like, oh, this is just dumb then.
But
I also thought, sorry, go ahead.
Isn't that the Ayushmann Khurana way of doing things, like having the cake and eating it, like trying to have it both ways?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I'm sending it up, but I'm also really serious about it. You know, like it's always that. And that was my main thing about the action hero trailer too, that, you know, either do it straight or do it meta. Like this half and half approach that he does just bugs me, you know?
And also, like, it was just really funny because Nora's in the song. And look, when you have Nora Fatehi in a song, nobody wants to see you.
Yes.
Okay. Like, this is a fact of life. I'm as straight as they come, and I can tell you, like, I literally have no interest in seeing anybody other than Nora. And they kept giving Ayushmann the you know, like I said, action hero treatment, where, you know, he was like dancing and he was like doing things, and I was like, I don't care. And also I can see the effort, you know, like you can see the effort that he's put into it, which is, I guess he gets A for it, like, you know, A for effort, but that's not what I want out of a catchy song. Like, I don't want to see somebody's like, you know, mehnat ka kaam. Like, I want to have entertainment. So I'm just like, eh. And also, I feel like this was a missed opportunity for Nora because Nora's doing the same steps, right? In every single song these days. They're just giving her the same choreography. And she's nailing it. But honestly, like, she can switch things up and she can do things a lot better. And I think there's an entire sequence that she does in this sort of feathery, princessy pink gown that's very soft and it's very against the usual Nora aesthetic. And I think she could have just gone in that direction, and it would have been like a very different kind of music video for her. But then I guess they got cold feet and they were just like, nahi, Nora Fatehi hamare gaane mein hai. So then she has to do the Nora Fatehi moves. And it didn't work for me.
I just also think that the moves and the costuming just isn't that good this time, especially for Nora. Like, it's that weird thing you're mentioning, that maybe they're trying to spoof like a Salman Khan song, but in a Salman Khan song, Salman is the item, right? That's how it's centered. But here you have Nora, so she should be the main kind of piece, but you're trying to make Ayushmann Khurana the item, and it doesn't work. Like, it's just disbalanced, I feel. Like actually the original was sung by IP Singh.
Yeah, he's the lead singer of Faridkot.
Yeah, Amar Jalal and IP Singh. That's what like kind of a shitty interview with Tanish Bagchi that I'm reading here on Hindustan Times about how these original artists should be thankful that he's remixing them, because that's how they get famous.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like,
you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, I don't know, like there was a reel that I saw the other day of Neha Kakkar singing with Atif Aslam on the stage in Dubai or something. And Neha, poor thing, is standing there like murdering the song, like just murdering it. And then Atif opens his mouth. He's just standing there with like, he's not even like looking at her. He's just like trying to like pretend he's somewhere else. And then he starts singing, and it is honestly as if like, the heavens opened up and a beam of sunlight came out. It was just honestly one of the funniest things I saw. And that's what I think of. And I think like Tanish Bagchi, who's just like murdering everything.
Yeah. He says, we did a recreation of Manike from Ajay Devgan's film. It was a bigger hit than the original song. It also helped its artist Yohani, who is an independent singer, in getting her due. which is interesting. It's an interesting take on how things are maneuvering, right? In the movie.
Reason why that particular song is a bigger hit than the original is because Nora was in the music video, and she is like very good at doing like reels promotion for her songs. So she turned like, the core moves, the core movements that she was doing in that song. It's very clearly meant for, reels remixes. I was about to say TikTok remixes, but like obviously we don't have TikTok in India. So it's very much meant for a certain kind of crowd. So
it's interesting. Like if Nora would dance to the original track, it would be a big one still, right? So Tanishq is not the part of the equation that's making the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Nora could just dance to the original one and make it a huge hit. She doesn't need your remix of. Anyway, interesting. What other trailer came out? We had
Venky.
Salaam Venky, yes. But before we continue, want to give a shout out to all our patrons on Patreon. We want to give them a big thank you. They help us support what we do. If you do want to support our work, you can go to Patreon and sign up from $1, get access to extra content, speak to us, and be part of a community. Every dollar that we get, we reinvest into the show to make it better.
Thank you to all our Patreons at patreon.com/Khandaan podcast. Yamini, Ashwin, Paresh, Grandmaster, Hanisha, Lisa, Beans, Anim, Shireen, NJ, Daniel, Carrie, Nina, Uttara, Meher, The Turtle Pirate, Nush, Shreya, Aryu, Angelique, Rachna, Tanvi, Viral, Sachin, Heather, Rita, Nirflik, Manveer, Swaroop, Sushant, Polly Litsa, Sunita, Amrit, Beth, Sona, Neha, Samyukta, Shehzad, Nimrit, Usama, Jasmine, Nandini, Sunita, Pamela, Ruhi, Rehani, Farzana, Gauri, Deepta, Mofi, Karen, Devansh, Javeria, Supriya, Usha, Laina, Nika, SK, Abdullah, Shakila, Jackie, Navsharan, Irfan, Chitra, Geetika, Manish, Shah, Rebecca,
जैसे मैं भाग गई थी किसी के साथ
थोड़ी देर रुक जाओ बस कुछ दिनों के बाद फिर भाग जाना
कोई सुनेगा तो क्या कहेगा बेटे को माँ से बात करने की तमीज नहीं
मैं तो सिंपैथी वोट लेके चला जाऊंगा बुरी तो तुम ही बनोगी
70 people. Oh wow.
Back to the show.
Yeah, back to the show.
So what did you think about that one, Sujoy?
So this movie seems to have everybody and the kitchen sink in it. This is apparently now a Khan movie because Amir Khan shows up at some point. There's Prakash Raj. It's directed by Revati, and it's got, of all the people in the industry, it's got Kamal Sadhana making an appearance, who famously did his first movie with Kajol in his first movie in Bekhudi. So it's interesting to see them together in this movie, but it seems like a mother and a son story from the trailer. And I think this guy who plays Venky also played the serial killer in Mardani 2. And it's weird to think that his eyes kind of shine the same way as Kajol in this trailer. I found that like kind of eerie and creepy. But I don't know. This movie does not seem like my cup of tea. I can't deal with terminal illness in movies and how that plays out. Like I've watched Anand once and I just can't deal with it anymore. It's kind of like that movie. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think like I'll be watching this movie.
What about you, Amrita? Did you get a chance to see the trailer?
Yes, I did. And it reminds me of something. I don't know what. I know like this movie is a remake of something, but I don't really know.
It's supposedly based on a book called The Last Hurrah by Shrikant Murthy.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but I know for sure. Wait, it's not really I don't know, maybe it's because I just have a lot of friends who read weird fiction, but this whole thing doesn't seem very like out there to me. Like I feel like it's been hashed and rehashed. Like this particular storyline, it sounds like it's something it's been hashed and rehashed a bunch of times. But then I'm quite jaded in terms of content, so maybe I'm the one that's wrong.
It's maybe it just seems familiar because I was looking at this trailer, and isn't it weird that all the actresses that we grew up with are not allowed to express joy on screen anymore? You know what I mean? Like, they're all like, dreary moms. Like either their daughters have gotten assaulted, or their kids are about to die, or they hate them. It's like all. Like, yeah, I don't know, maybe it speaks about, getting older and the state of life we're in, but it's just like, I just want to see happy Kajol and dancing, or like at least a little bit of it. But again, like, yeah, I don't know. Also, like, Revati, she seems to be cornered like this market of like misery, like, like this kid is dying, and she made an AIDS movie, she made like, things about disability too. She seemed to be very like passionate about all of these difficult topics to treat around,
I don't know if you remember, like when they had that Tamil anthology on Prime that we reviewed last year during the pandemic. Like this is exactly what I said about Revati and her piece in that one, which is that I don't really. She did the one where the mother has like dementia or whatever, and then the daughters have to come back, etc.
Right.
And it's honestly like, I'm not a big fan of hers as a filmmaker. Like, I know she is doing her best to portray women on screen and like talk about different types of femininity and issues that women face on a daily basis, etc. But I am just so like tired.
Yeah.
Oh wait, was that one actually by Suhasini? Maybe I'm thinking. Yeah, Suhasini is also on the same line, basically.
Yeah.
So maybe I think that particular the anthology was by Suhasini, but both Suhasini and Revati, like it's just, I'm not a big fan.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Guys, I on IMDb when I was searching for Salaam Venky, because Kajol showed up, I'm seeing a potential project where they are remaking The Good Wife for Hotstar, and Kajol is playing Juliana Margulies' Alicia Florrick role.
I mean, if that actually gets made, then we're going to have a field day with gossip. And we're going to have, a banger of a Khandaan episode. So everyone stay tuned for that one.
Oh, actually, we did quickly go over Amir, but Amrita.
No thanks. No thanks.
You made him go into retirement.
Mera Kamal.
You manifested this. What do you guys think about it, though?
What?
I didn't watch his interview actually, so I have no idea why he said what his reasoning is as yet. I will at some point, but I haven't watched it as yet.
So he's saying he basically wants to spend time with his family because he's been so focused on his career that he feels he wasn't a good dad. Actually, I think a few months ago he was making similar statements, and then Lal Singh Chadda not doing as well as he hoped for. I think it's just, and Shahrukh. I mean, I think both Salman, even add Akshay to it, and Amir must see that like. Shahrukh kind of pulled it off, like, just like taking his, himself away from the audience for a couple of years. I mean, I don't know how Pathaan will be at the box office, but the excitement is there for sure, right? So maybe they're saying, hey, maybe this wasn't a bad move. Like, Shahrukh was smart about it. He did it during the pandemic when no movies were going to come out anyway. It's maybe he's looking at that and saying, maybe I need to take a few years, right?
Yeah.
So is he taking a sabbatical or?
Looks like it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's worked for him before, right? Like he took the sabbatical and then he came back with like, bigger and better. So yeah, why not?
I mean, they must have these guys must have so much money, right? Like they can like really just chill. Like I think with Salman, I was making this point on Twitter too, because he announced some sort of new concert or something like that. Like he has to carry so many careers, like Salman. Like he literally cannot stop, right? Like everybody will, like everybody's mortgage is at stake, you know, if Salman stops. But like Shahrukh and Amir is less so. Like they have their network and they have their support and stuff like that. But it's not like Salman, where he's literally carrying everybody's career, right? So
yeah. If Salman quits working, then basically about 4 different families will be on the footpath. So yeah,
like so many gyms will be on the footpath.
Yeah.
One more thing, Freddy, we want to go quickly over, or
yeah, sure.
Sorry, sir, kept you waiting.
it's a teaser, so there's not much going on. But again, this is also coming out on streaming, right? So Govinda Naam, Freddy, and there was one more that's coming.
It's
out.
Govinda Naam Mera. From
I won't get it right, dude. Don't have these.
I mean, at least pay some respect to Anil Kapoor. No, it's from that song.
Okay. By the way, did you see somebody asked Govinda the question, like, what do you feel about like this movie being made about you? Like the press is so bad, man. They're like, this movie is about you, when clearly it's not. It's not. It was funny. Yeah.
Anyway,
Freddy. Yeah. Did you watch the teaser, Sujoy?
Yeah, I did. It has very Dexter kind of vibe in him playing like an incel serial killer sort of thing. I don't know, like Kartik or Artik Aryan on this podcast, as we call him, gets a bit of a bad rep of being, not having range, not being a good actor, stereotypically only trying one kind of a role, and not having like a good range of to showcase in his acting. And I can see he's trying with this and Dhamaka, which came out last year or early this year, can't remember. And I can only hope he pulls it off, and this is at least on some level interesting to watch. But
He's the great white hope of Bollywood cinema, right? Like he's the one that can take it forward. So if he misses, we're all done for it.
Like for this new generation of people who are like actors as well as equally active on social media, right? He is everywhere, and he's like the hustle. You can see that what he's trying to do, and he's got a massive following online. And whenever it comes to publicity and doing like malls, publicity days where you promote the movie and stuff, he's hounded by fans. So he's got the following. It's just that it needs to translate into some sort of a content where people can appreciate for his work rather than for his number of followers that he has on social media. So I hope this movie works in his favor. But I'm not really keen on the concept of the movie.
What about you, Amrita?
It's funny because when the teasers began, I thought it was going to be some sort of whimsical sort of, like shy man finds his place in the world. Sort of like Amelie, but like Indian and male, I thought that was going to be the vibe. And I was just thinking to myself, like, a role like that requires a certain kind of charm, which Artik Aryan with his rat face really can't pull it off. And then suddenly he became like, like a deranged serial killer. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, this I can believe. And so I actually do want to check it out. I think that he might do a really good job with it.
It's funny because Sujoy, you were saying that I'm kind of in the middle with both, because like Sujoy, you were saying like he's trying something different and he did Dhamaka, and then also this teaser, I thought he was actually quite good. And like there's a sequence where he's like dancing and it's very creepy the way he's dancing on his own. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of in. Like, this seems to be his vibe. And then he starts speaking, and it immediately brought me like to Dhamaka, where his voice is so grating. It just hurts my brain whenever he talks. I don't know why his dialogue delivery is so boring, or it's the kind of tonality of his voice. Maybe I just need to get used to it. I don't know. It's just like very dreary, and so if that last him speaking, that dialogue wasn't in there, I would actually be quite excited for this, Dextery kind of remake. And I was even going to go to the point, like, if I watch it and it's even half decent, I'm going to start calling him Kartik Aryan now. Like, we've reached that point. Like, just because you said, like, you got to respect the hustle now. It might not be for us, but, if he gets a movie that does 300, 200 crores, Tabbu is also there, right? So you need to like respect that he is doing something. He's working hard. He's dropping 2-3 movies of different genres. And that's kind of better than what Hrithik is doing or what Varun is doing, right? Like I can appreciate that. Like somebody who was working hard and making a lot of movies. I mean, he's going to be maybe in the next Hera Peri movie too, like that's you got to respect that, there's like, you can't keep denying numbers. Like, I
want to know what Akshay Kumar thinks of him is what I want to know.
Yeah. There was a good video on this. What's his name? A Tried and Refused Productions. The guy's name? Jamie Pants. Yeah, Jamie Pants.
Can't remember his name now.
Yeah,
it's not with Jamwal, but
no, it's Jamie Pants on Twitter or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, he was saying that like there was an interview with Akshay with Charan, Ram Charan on some kind of conclave of India or something like that, and talking about cinema, and how the video was basically how these stars have kind of become annoyed and like angry and kind of let down by cinema. Him and Amir, and that it's kind of forcing them in, like they've kind of almost given up at this point. And Akshay seemed quite saddened by that he couldn't make Hera Peri work. And I was being facetious about it because I was saying, he basically said the script wasn't there. And I was saying, like, dude, we've seen your movies over the last 2 decades. You've never listened to looked at the script, right? So why does it matter now? But, maybe it is going to be terrible. Like, imagine if the script is bad and just Kartik Aryan with his fan following makes it a 300 crore hit. Like something that Akshay has not been able to do in a while, right? Yeah. I like that's got to hurt Akshay too, right? Like that's like taking his franchise and making, like he did it literally with Bhool Bhulaiya, right? Akshay could have done that movie, but he decided not to. And now he's going to maybe do it with Hera Peri. It must suck to be Akshay. And plus Akshay has totally, squandered all the goodwill he had with the right wing. So tough situation he's in, I feel. None of his movies are working.
It's really funny to me that the right wing loves Kartik Aryan because they're just like, he's like a good, like, God-fearing Hindu boy, whatever. They can just basically project whatever they want onto him, right? Like Kartik Aryan doesn't say boo. Like he just like minds his own business and he works.
And he's also not like one of the insiders. He's not a nepo kid. So he's like apna londa, kind of that image.
So he's just doing his hustle and I respect that. And they keep sort of like pushing him up and they're just like, oh, he's not like a Nepo baby and he's not Muslim and he's like, going to get the supremacy in Bollywood and blah, blah, blah. And I think everybody thought he was going to go for the Khans, but what he's actually doing is like taking Akshay's crown. And that to me is the most hilarious thing that has ever happened. Like that was a twist. Like nobody saw that.
It's an interesting one, right? Because like everybody came for the crown with the Khans and everybody missed, but Kartik's got his eyes laser focused, and it's scary for Akshay, I feel.
It's hilarious from that conclave with Ramcharan and Akshay. They were talking about things, and then Ramcharan was talking about a scene for which he rehearsed, and they shot the movie in over 40 days. And then he quickly has a dig on Akshay, saying, Akshay sir's movies infamously get finished in 40 days.
Yeah. I'm sure he was being respectful about it, but it's Akshay has just also not been able to deliver, right? Like a lot has changed in 2-3 years for him.
Well, that's what happens when you keep instead of thinking about what's a movie that you could make, you start thinking about what's an audience that you can serve. That's what happens. You need to start thinking about the way that Akshay was doing really well for, the past 10 years. He was really making content-based cinema, whether it was stuff like Baby and things like that. He was really drilling down, and he was able to choose scripts that were telling a story, and they were focused on doing things, right? Whereas now he's just making all kinds of wanky stuff for a particular crowd of people. And then what you're doing is you're basically surrendering to all the power is with that group of people then. Because if they don't like it, then who's left? Nobody.
The other thing is also with doing good work, you build up credit with the audience. So I think Akshay built up a lot of credit, and then he basically squandered it with bad movies, and you need to build that back up. And I think that's kind of maybe what the problem with Amir is happening too, that he's kind of with 2 back flops, big flops, he's kind of lost that credit where people are no, you know?
I don't think so, because what has happened after Lal Singh Chaddha came out on Netflix is that a whole bunch of people have watched that. And then also Brahmastra came out, and people also watched that on Hotstar or whatever. And people are now being oh, I'm sorry. There was that whole thing on Twitter where people were I'm sorry, Amir. I took part in the boycott. I didn't know it was such a nice movie. And then people, I can't remember who. I think it was Manav. What's his name? Manav. The guy from the Fame game.
Man of which?
Man of Call?
Man of Call. Man of Call was saying, apparently somebody was tagged him on Twitter and was just I'm really sorry we didn't go see Lal Singh Chaddha in the movies because, he played the Pakistani soldier, right?
That's Man of Vij, not Man
that's
of
Man
Call.
of Vij. Man of Vij. And they were and we are really sorry that we didn't see it in the theater or whatever. And he was if you feel that sorry, then maybe you should write a check to Amir Khan Productions for putting so many people's hard work to waste. So I think people forgot for a moment, because this is what happens with populist hate campaigns, right? People forget things. They just get swayed by their underlying sentiment and their unconscious biases. Because I think a lot of people were sitting there thinking oh, Amir is a Muslim, therefore I shouldn't watch his movie. I think it was just that, people get swayed by the kind of things that inform the air, basically. And then once the haze wears off and good sense sort of reasserts itself, then they're just why did I why did I behave like that? And that's what happened with Amir, where they were just oh, wait a minute, this is Amir Khan. He makes really good movies. I really enjoyed watching it on Netflix. That doesn't mean that they won't behave in the same way in the future, because if you have tendencies towards bigotry, then that's basically what you have, unless you actually address it, which most people won't. But I don't think Amir's reputation has suffered at all out of the Lal Singh Chaddha debacle, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think also he has the whole Islamophobia monster to battle, which Akshay doesn't, right? Like he can basically ride that elephant like he's entering the song in Atrangire. But it's not. I mean, I think it's worrying for Akshay, especially because even like his new movies coming out, there's nothing exciting necessarily. Although it would be hard for me to get excited for an Akshay movie. But I don't even know anything big that's kind of planned. And even if it's big, it'll come and go and then something else will come, Like there's a lot of elements in his career that used to work and now doesn't necessarily work anymore. So
see, this is what the Khans do really well. Like people give them a lot of flack about like why they don't make a stand, why they don't speak up. But this is why they are the Khans. Capital letters, because they don't, like, they just mind their own business and they just make the movies that they do, and they don't identify more closely with any group.
Yeah.
And that allows their various sections of the audience to basically project themselves onto them and say ki ye apna banda hai.
Yeah.
And that's why Shah Rukh is a big star, that's why Salman's a big star, and that's why Amir is a big star, versus Akshay, who is now like forever associated with the stench of the right wing, right? Like everybody is like, yeah, like Akshay Kumar is this person. They've slaughtered him now.
Yeah.
So now whatever he does, he's just going to be, even if he doesn't do it that way, if he does something very different, everybody will just be looking at him with suspicion. Yeah. So that's it. Kaput.
You played yourself. That's basically what happened, actually.
It genuinely makes no sense to me why he did that, though. Like, he literally could have just sat there and eaten his food. And he just went out of his way to do it. Like, I mean, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. And also he goes to bed early, so he really didn't need all that drama, Let's going to bed early. Let's put this episode to bed. So yeah, let's wrap up this episode. Next episode we'll be talking about Shah Rukh Khan's Dawn, part of our remake season, and also part of the path to Pathan. That's what I'm calling it, the path to Pathan. Amrita, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter for as long as it's up. I'm on. I'm at Amrita IQ. Other than that, we're discussing a Discord, which I don't know. We'll see whether we can set up a Khandaan Discord, and also, obviously, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Khandaan Podcast.
Sujoy?
I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at 93K. And you can follow the Khandaan Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Khandaan Podcast.
Drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com. Subscribe to the podcast. Sign up as a Patreon from $1 and support our work. I'm at Asim Bernie on Twitter. I do not have a Mastodon. Somebody should send me an invite. I don't know if Mastodon will last, though. So I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I think Twitter will not go anywhere. I don't know. I'm feeling positive for a change. Anyway, this is it for Khandaan. Thank you for listening.
Hi.